Hey guys, welcome to the Max Invest YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ethereum 2.0. I'm going to be explaining what Ethereum 2.0 is in the most basic way possible, and I'm going to be explaining how I think Ethereum 2.0 could affect the price of Ethereum toward the end of the video. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at three fundamental aspects of Ethereum 2.0. This is proof of stake, sharding, and rollups. If you don't know what any of these are, that's fine. They aren't too difficult to understand, and we will go through them in this video. Of course, if you enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We're approaching 1,000 subscribers and it would be much appreciated. Also, recall that nothing in this video is financial advice and you should always do your own research. So, let's get into what Ethereum 2.0 is trying to do. So, Ethereum 2.0 is actually trying to resolve the blockchain trilemma. This means it's very difficult for blockchains to be scalable, decentralized, and secure. Right now, Ethereum is decentralized and secure, however, there are issues with scalability. Scalability essentially means how much transactions the network can take in, and therefore how low the fees are. Currently, Ethereum can take in under 100 transactions per second, however, they would like to push this up to over 100,000 transactions per second, making the network really fast and making the fees on the network really low. We are going to briefly run through the timeline of Ethereum 2.0, see when it's going to fully come out, and then we'll explain proof of stake, sharding, and rollups. So, Ethereum 2.0 actually began last year. Now, the beacon chain was launched in December 2020. I'm not going to go into the specifics of what the beacon chain actually is, as it is a little bit technical. However, the beacon chain just shows everything is underway for Ethereum 2.0, and it shows a transition to proof of stake, which should be finalized by the end of this year. Right now, you can actually stake your Ethereum cryptocurrency, so proof of stake has already begun. However, it will be fully done by the end of this year. Sharding and rollups are the next phase of Ethereum 2.0, and they should be completed by 2022 and 2023. This means sometimes in 2023, we should have Ethereum 2.0 fully launched, which is great. So, the first thing we're going to get into is the proof of stake consensus mechanism. Now, to understand the proof of stake consensus mechanism, we need to understand Ethereum's current model. Ethereum runs under a proof of work consensus mechanism, and we'll quickly get into what that is. Consensus mechanisms maintain security in the network through a pool of users coming together and validating transactions. There are over 100,000 individuals doing this on the Ethereum network, making it a very decentralized network. Ethereum currently uses proof of work, whereby there'll be a whole bunch of miners with big computers which will solve random numbers on their computers, and when they solve these numbers they will earn blocks, and when they earn blocks they will earn the Ether token. Furthermore, right now it requires approval of 51% of the miners to update the Ethereum network, and this is how proof of stake will also work. However, there won't be any miners in proof of stake. The problems with proof of work is it is slow and difficult to scale. Also, another problem is when these computers need to solve these random numbers around the world, it actually uses up a ton of energy. And Elon Musk has recently critiqued Bitcoin for using too much energy and hurting the environment a little bit. On the other hand, proof of stake doesn't use any of this energy and it should be significantly faster. So, let's get into what proof of stake actually is. Ethereum is transitioning to a proof of stake consensus mechanism. As such, proof of stake is going to rely on economic incentives. Ethereum users will lock up their funds in order to validate the network in the same way. This gives individuals a stake in how the network can operate. To avoid centralization, Ethereum users will be randomly selected to produce blocks when their funds are locked up. So this means the people who are locking up huge amounts of money and the richer people still won't have control over the network. Every single person who is participating and locking up their funds will have control over the network. Of course, those with a bit more money will have a bit more of a say and a bit more chance for a say. However, overall, when hundreds of thousands of people are staking their Ethereum, the network should be very decentralized. So all it is people will lock up their economic resources, their Ether, and in return they will earn rewards. And when they lock up this Ether, they will be validating the network and validating transactions. Also, an important thing to recognize about proof of stake is if validators act dishonestly, their part of their stake is slashed. So if you're trying to validate bad blocks or ruin the Ethereum network, well, you're actually going to lose a lot of money in the process, and this would be a very inefficient idea. This actually almost makes proof of stake more secure than proof of work, and I really do believe this is the superior consensus mechanism. Proof of stake has already begun and users can already stake their Ethereum. However, proof of work is just not yet fully eliminated. It should be fully eliminated, as I've already said, by the end of this year. So proof of stake should just mean a lot less energy is used up, in fact no energy, and all you do is you just pull your funds together and it should overall make the network a lot more efficient. As you can see, 5.5 million Ether has been staked in the ETH 2.0 deposit contract, and this is $10 billion worth of Ethereum already being staked. A huge amount of Ether. Right, so proof of stake is the first big part of the Ethereum 2.0 upgrade. However, the next big part of the upgrade is called sharding. Briefly, I'm going to tell you why sharding is actually needed. Ethereum will become a proof-of-stake blockchain with a large number of validators and a large number of blocks that will need to be processed by these validators. Generally, when there's a lot of transactions coming in, only really big computers can actually process these transactions. As a direct result, only those with a lot of money and a lot of big computers can actually process blocks. This is a threat to decentralization, and what you want to actually happen is you want your random person with a tiny computer validating the network and processing transactions. So a solution needs to come in to allow these smaller actors to process transactions and make the network more decentralized. So this is what sharding does. Sharding will randomly split up the work of doing the verification. Validators will be randomly shuffled into groups of 100 people each to verify blocks. The random nature of the sharding should prevent large actors from gaining control and should overall mean that small users can all work together to process blocks through the big process called sharding. So, sharding is a technique that gets you all free. A sharded blockchain should be scalable. It'll mean heaps more transactions can be processed than a single node because the blockchain's all broken up and all the little users are working together to process transactions. It should also be decentralized. This is as it can survive entirely on consumer laptops with no dependency on supernodes or really big computers. Sharding should also be very secure. This is because an attacker can't target a small part of the system with a small amount of resources. They can only try to dominate and attack the whole network, which is essentially completely impossible. So overall, sharding is one of the big updates coming to ETH 2.0, and this should make a lot more transactions go through and still make the network decentralized. So, sharding is the second big part of ETH 2.0. However, sharding needs to be matched with something else to make the network even more scalable while still preserving decentralization. Sharding is going to be matched with rollups on Ethereum 2.0, making the network 10,000 times as scalable. Rollups will perform transaction execution outside the main chain, so they will do a lot of the computation whenever transactions are made off-chain. The computation will be taken off the Ethereum 2.0 chain, however, they will then post the transaction data back onto the main chain. So all rollups are saying is that they're doing a little bit of computation off-chain to mean there's a lot less stress on the Ethereum network, which should mean it's more scalable. As transaction data is on the layer 1, it's all posted on layer 1, it's finalized on layer 1, and it begins on layer 1. This will allow the rollups to be secured by layer 1. This will therefore mean it inherits the security and decentralization properties of layer 1. So, rollups should be secure. They should be decentralized, and by taking a bit of the computation off-chain and doing it somewhere else, it should mean that rollups are going to be very scalable and the network should be able to take in a lot more transactions. So overall, rollups are the next good solution to the blockchain trilemma, and this is happening with Ethereum 2.0. Now, there are numerous types of different rollups, and it gets very complicated with specifically how they work. So I'm not going to go too far into the specifics of this video. I'm just going to give you a basic explanation of what rollups are and how they are going to work. So let's conclude what we have found. Ethereum 2.0 is going to be made up of three different big parts that are happening to the network. Proof of stake, which is happening first, sharding, which is happening second, and then rollups, which is happening third. All of these parts together will make the network more scalable, so more transactions will be able to be dealt with. This should mean more users can actually use Ethereum, and it should be very, very fast to use and very cheap to use. However, it's going to do this without going at the expense of decentralization and security. So it's going to be decentralized, secure, and scalable, which is going to be great for the Ethereum network. However, a lot of you are wondering, hold up, Ethereum 2.0 started in 2020, however it's ending in 2023. That's a huge amount of time. What's going on? Well, rollups and sharding are not easy to implement into a network. This is a multi-year process and it will incur considerable costs to the Ethereum network. This is actually pretty hard to do. However, Ethereum has the biggest network effects and so far everything has gone absolutely perfectly with the beacon chain. There have been a couple of delays, however it's gone really, really well, and if you actually look into ETH 2.0, you understand it's gone quite well. So, few other cryptocurrencies have used both rollups and sharding just because it's really difficult to implement rollups and sharding for ETH 2.0. However, this is being done to increase scalability while preserving decentralization, so it is inherently difficult. Vitalik Buterin says himself that rollups will scale the network by a factor of 10, and then sharding will scale the network by another factor of 10, which is 10,000 times more scalable. That looks pretty great for the network. So, in conclusion, Ethereum 2.0 is coming out by 2023, and it's going to be one of the biggest upgrades to the network. Right, so what does Ethereum 2.0 actually mean for the network in the short term and in the long term? Well, let's start with the long term. Ethereum 2.0 is going to make Ethereum a very scalable network, a very secure and a very decentralized network. In the long term, this will improve it fundamentally and it will give the Ethereum network a lot more room for growth and a lot more room to take over. To put it in perspective, Visa currently does a couple thousand transactions per second. Ethereum 2.0 is going to do 100,000 transactions per second, annihilating Visa. However, Ethereum 2.0 is essentially going to be completely decentralized. Visa's not decentralized at all. You put this on top of all the decentralized applications and decentralized finance protocols that run off Ethereum, and you go, hold on, Ethereum 2.0 is probably one of the best inventions known to mankind. Ethereum 2.0 is essentially going to make the Ethereum network solve all of the problems it currently has, and I do believe in the long term it will be an unstoppable force. However, in the short term, if we're looking at what's going to happen to the price tomorrow, the price in November when it fully comes out, or the price in 2023, I'm not sure it will make that much of a difference. Now, the reason for this is people tend to buy the news. So people tend to know Ethereum 2.0 is already coming out. So they'll buy their Ether in advance. So I wouldn't be too hyped up for the short term of this network upgrade. But if we're talking 10, 20, 30 years down the track for Ethereum 2.0, I think it will add tremendous value to the network. Without Ethereum 2.0, Ethereum simply wouldn't be scalable enough to go on into the future. However, Ethereum was made so that it could be updated. It was made so that if a decentralized network of people come to consensus and say, all right, let's update this network, it can be done. That's how it was designed, and right now we're fixing the problems of Ethereum in a very, very huge and good way. So in the long term, I do believe this is going to make the network better, and overall it should make Ethereum fundamentally stronger, which should increase the price. Of course, none of this is financial advice. I hope you've enjoyed the video today where I've explained Ethereum 2.0 in detail and explain the big three things that are coming out to Ethereum. Of course, if you enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. It really would be much appreciated. The channel's just still trying to get off the ground right now, and hopefully we can get some more subscribers so we can push out this content to a wider audience. Of course, thanks for watching the video, guys.